I almost feel like you should have just like the music playing in the background the whole time, but that could be kind of distracting, I guess.
It's not even that. Like I said, I really wanted to play even more of this for the podcast that we're about to do right now. But I had a feeling, with YouTube and their terms of service and everything, they probably wind up taking some stuff down. And I just didn't want to chance it because I didn't want to upset one of my top 3 bands of all time.
We must do them and justice for all. Oh, I mean, we must do them justice.
I love it. That was good. I love it a lot. So what we were hinting at right here is we have a podcast a couple months in the making. It was a labor of love and phone calls and emails and everything else to try and get the whiskey that has been created by, in collaboration with one of my favorite bands of all time, Metallica, and Dave Pickerel, rest in peace. The two of them came together on a project to make a whiskey that... I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, that kind of speaks to both of their...
it's a melding or a merging of their talents
ideas
and curiosities.
There you go.
Yeah, interests. Yep, absolutely.
So that is what we have for this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I am Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we're about today is the Blackened whiskey. And it's not by a specific distillery, is it? It's got to be. Is it, or?
It is not. It is actually, well, it is. I'm not sure exactly how he got a hold of all the different blends, because this is a blended whiskey.
Okay.
Like I said, it is predominantly bourbon, but it has a high rye content.
Yes.
And like I said, the person we just mentioned, like I said, that is obviously the biggest part of this, Dave Pickerel. He was a master distiller at Maker's Mark, and then also made his namesake with his rye whiskey Whistle Pig, which we have had and is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So that is what he brings to the table. And then the other thing that he brings to the table is that he was always known for his finishes, his specialty finishes,
the adult flavorings, is that what he called it?
Yeah, exactly.
Adult,
The adult flavoring that he would kind of bring to the table was the different finishings. And for this one in particular, he used blackened brandy barrels. So hence part of the name, also a name of one of Metallica's songs off of And Justice for All, which Keith just mentioned. And this is something I have been wanting to try for some time. As soon as I had heard it had come out, it still has not made it to Arizona. I started making some phone calls, sending some emails to different places across this great country, and finally was able to find some, because every bottle is unique. They all are different. Well, I shouldn't say every bottle. Every batch is unique.
Every batch, right.
This is batch 88 specifically. It was put together with a playlist. So every whiskey has a playlist. And
so the overall concept behind this whiskey is that, well, at least once it went into the barrel.
Correct.
The concept behind
once
this,
it goes into the finishing. Right.
is that sound can enhance or change in some ways many things. And from what we were reading, Dave Pickerel, it's when he was a cadet at West Point. He was fascinated by sound and how it affects different things in our lives, and that's what they've done with this. Is they've taken Metallica music,
right,
and played it. We don't know exactly, but quite loud, we would think.
I would think so. Yeah, that those vibrations
played
make
it
their way
near in the same room near the barrels, and so the music. And most of you are probably familiar with Metallica, and know what that style of music is like. It actually is causing the barrels to move. It's causing the liquid inside to move. So there's more seeping in of the whiskey itself into the barrel, going in and out, more exposure. So it's changing the overall final product.
Yeah, these sonic vibrations are creating a different finish.
Right.
Like I said, and it sits. I believe that finishing takes about. I thought I'd read a year. I apologize if that's not correct, but I thought that's kind of how long they do the finishing process. And obviously during that time they're tasting it, and if it got to a point where they're like, oh, that's it, they
right.
Some barrels may be stopped a little faster than others. But the thing that is unique, like I said, is that they're all different batches. Each batch has a different playlist. The very first one, batch 81, harkening back to obviously when Metallica first got together. together, 1981. That one was a playlist that was put together by the entire band. It's a little bit longer. I think it's like 14 or 15 different songs. And then since then, every new batch is a different playlist put together by one of the different members of the band. Batch 88, the one that we have here today, is from Kirk Hammett, lead guitarist. So that is the one that we wound up going with. I actually also have Batch 89. So depending on how this goes, next week we may try that one too and do a little compare and contrast. But we shall see. We got to at least open one of them first to see.
Right. And how did they? And somehow they obviously crossed paths and had this this thing in common that obviously they're infatuated by sound. What we were reading too, Metallica had actually engineered a special subwoofer.
Yeah, they worked with a company. I believe it was Meyer Sound. I think is what it was.
Yes,
and they, the two of them together. That's who makes all the speakers for their concerts and all that kind of stuff. So it was all of this basically came together. You know, like I said, Dave having this idea. Metallica saying, well, obviously, we're rock and rollers. We like whiskey, and so two of them coming together, and then obviously their sound guys coming. So the only part I also don't know is we were kind of discussing like how they actually put the speakers in there. You kind of mentioned maybe they might be like in a room and they've got several barrels.
Right.
We joked about giant headphones on the outside.
That would be funny.
The thing that I thought maybe made the most sense from a graphic that they kind of had up there is that maybe there is a subwoofer on each side of the round side of the barrel, and that they're like when playing the the playlist, that it's constantly those sound waves are going back and forth this way. But if anyone actually knows the answer to that, or if Blackened Whiskey or Metallica wants to comment,
oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
I would probably pass out. But if anyone wants to give us that information, I would love to know that too, because this whole process, like I said, it is marketing, but it also is very fascinating to see what this kind of brings out. In this.
And
this whiskey.
you are obviously, I know you probably mentioned this already. You're a huge Metallica fan.
Maybe.
For years and years and years.
Oh my God.
Now, is that how you were you like on one of their like the Metallica website and heard about this, or how did you
I
hear
actually
about
saw it in a news article.
Okay.
It was just on one of my news feeds
Metallica
or whatever.
whiskey,
Yeah,
you say?
Yeah, it pretty much said Metallica making their own whiskey, and I was kind of like, all right, they're just putting their brand on something like that,
Right.
whatever. But then, like I said, in reading the article and who they the chops of the distiller that they got behind it, I was like, all right, this is something I really want to try from a beverage standpoint, obviously, because we like, some of the finer whiskeys in life. So,
And we keep mentioning we've mentioned Dave Pickerel, who unfortunately passed away in November of 2018. So, but he obviously had a very long and distinguished resume of whiskey making, whiskey influencing, and so it's really a cool thing that he was a part of this. Not cool that he's not around anymore, but
right.
Certainly he left a lasting legacy for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, let's finally get to the tasting. Let's not pause any longer. I got to find out if all my all my work and my unpause and find out if all my efforts are worth it.
Okay.
Because they are starting to go across the country. Still not Arizona though. So if you want Metallica's whiskey in Arizona, you got to come to my house.
You were making plans on if I get it to Vegas, and I was like, well, I have a friend in Vegas.
Yeah, no,
we could have it shipped to him.
There was literally this much work going into this,
Yeah.
and this is how much I wanted to try this. So, unfortunately, I can't try a picture, and I'm glad I got.
Lord
more than
knows
that.
you would have done it already.
I probably would have, yeah. So I'm sure our usual friend is watching over our very special bottle. He is good positioning too. I like it.
How would Metallica be okay with Phil being the whiskey overlord?
I think
At least in this case,
I think they'd be okay with that.
All right.
Yeah, I think they'd be all right.
Okay.
So let's
Thank
grab
you, Phil.
Let's grab that. I can't wait any longer. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna start opening. I have literally not even opened this. This is the plastic is still
or
on it.
either of the other two bottles that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
The bottle 89.
Yeah. So
or batch 89.
Yeah, batch 89 is a Robert Trujillo joint. That one has some really good. All of these had really good songs on them. For some reason, I was just gravitating toward batch 88 just because it was kind of some of the older stuff, a little more of the heavy kind of thing. So I was like, all right, that'll be interesting. And then
I read that they made this bottle specifically this way so it was easier for bartenders to pour.
I read that, yeah, bespoke bottle.
Bespoke bottle.
I kept reading that too. I was like, ooh, I like that.
Bespoke. Bespoking.
What glasses are we using, Keith?
Oh, we're using those Norland whiskey glasses. You've only used these once, I think, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I love using these glasses. They're great. I do also still love my Glencairn glasses. Those are also equally as fantastic, but these are just really fun. Here, I'll hold it in front of the shirt. You can see a little bit better. They're just neat because they're these double wall glasses, so it really shows off the color.
Can see it with the white.
Oh, can you put it in front of the? Yeah, there you go. You can really see, like I said, the color shows off a little bit better. It's just a really neat presentation.
Yeah.
We have not done like a compare. What would be interesting? I don't know how you can actually. I mean, because you'd know the glass as soon as you put your mouth to it. So the only thing you could maybe tell completely blind would be like aroma. Like someone could hold up a glass to you, and then maybe you could tell some of that, because that is supposed to be one of the things that this glass is supposed to kind of diffuse some of the alcohol that normally hits you right away and get you right more to the flavors that you're going to be enjoying.
So, and I think you mentioned this is a blended whiskey aged in black sherry, or finished in black sherry casks.
Brandy.
Black brandy casks.
Black brandy casks, yeah.
All right.
So that was one of his unique finishings. So like, color a little on the lighter side, I would say definitely kind of more of like a honey.
Yeah, definitely doesn't have the depth of like any, well, just a touch of maybe a little bit of red, but not much.
Yeah, it's definitely more, like just a lighter kind of honey colored. Well, let's get to the part I've been waiting for about 2 months.
It's a little sweet, a little like maybe vanilla, maybe sweet vanilla, something. But there's also some spice.
I get a little
something.
Okay.
Yeah, no, a little something.
I was gonna say I get a little bit of the spice. I get like it's almost like a candied apricot or something like that. There's like a fruit in there.
You read that in the.
Is it actually apricot?
They do talk about one of the things that.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad you.
I don't remember, like I remember them saying that there was, but I don't remember what. I actually thought it was peach. I thought they had mentioned. I was like, I don't really get peach. I get more apricot. But that's kind of what I get.
There is, and I was. It made me think of what we just had.
I know.
And I thought, is that still around? Am I still carrying that with me? But it's not.
But yeah, I get.
No, there is a little. There's definitely some sort of stone fruit like that going on.
Yeah,
in there.
like I said, but that smells really. It's very unique. It's definitely on the lighter side. Like it's not really.
Right.
It's it's not like, oh god, that really it's a nice. It's like a nice delicate aroma.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to taste it.
You must obey your master. Wait, that's not on this though.
No, it's on this.
I'm trying to throw as many as I can. I don't know.
You're doing all right. Are you trapped under ice? You don't know what to say?
No, that sounds cold. But if you had
that album is the one I always told you about. Remember that the album is called Ride the Lightning, and you're always like, what? And I was like, oh, it's about someone getting the electric chair. Oh. And you're like, oh, that's an interesting idea.
Oh, wow. Well, time.
Right. Cheers. Thank you for your sacrifice.
My liver's taking one for the team. That is enveloping the front of my tongue like with a circle of heat. It's a ring of fire.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is a little.
Not quite that bad, but it's definitely. It's
you are
funny.
Fighting fire with fire.
It really is going around my tongue, the front of my tongue, like that.
It's like a sonic.
Oh, and there's a little.
Around you.
That could be because I haven't anything to drink in a long time too.
I thought about that. I was like, should you have a little taste of something before?
Yeah. I haven't had anything. Let me have 4 beers, and then we'll get right into this.
We'll get right into it.
So.
No, I agree. Like I said, I get spice in there. I get some of that fruit. Kind of hits me toward the middle of my tongue. The finish also has kind of it's got a nice heat going. Yeah, it's 90 proof, so it's not.
That's not okay. Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, it's not too crazy. It's definitely a very like lighter, delicate flavor. It's not like really heavy to me on the tongue. It's almost refreshing. Well, I just mean just because it's not like the flavors that are there. There's a nice viscosity to it, but it's weird that it just like. It goes away very quickly.
Right. It's
like I said, even now, what I'm kind of left with is a very little bit of that fruit and then kind of just some spice just kind of hanging out. So it's very mild in that way.
Right.
But like I said, but yeah, definitely when I first had that sip, I got the same thing where I was like, oh, there's a lot of, cinnamon and sweet and maybe a little vanilla going on kind of the front of my palate kind of swirling around there. And then it just kind of worked its way. And then once it hits for me, the mid palate after that, it's just like, it doesn't, like I said, other than the heat, it's gone, like flavor wise. Right. Like, oh, at the back I get smoke, or I get this, thinking about, like I said, when I kept reading, Blackened brandy barrels, I thought, oh, maybe there'll be some of that char or something in there, or some sort of, not like peat or something like that, but I thought there might be a hint of that, whereas I did not at least get that on my first sip, so that's why I'll go in for another one.
Yeah, it's still there. It definitely has that spicy. A spicy heat, but it's not overwhelming. It's not like it's like, oh my god, this isn't ever going to go, or this is so. You're right. It finishes clean. Actually, is what it does.
Yeah, it actually, which I was kind of that's kind of what surprises me is like this is definitely more front palate focused.
So I don't. I don't remember what you spent on this, and so this might not be the kind of thing that you know. What I'm thinking is that peach
Oh
Coke
God,
would go great with that.
it probably would, because they would complement each other nice. Like I said, the
And
apricot
maybe-
peach thing that's in there.
And I'm not saying maybe even don't use a ton of Coke. Maybe just
to add
maybe
a little,
almost like a 50-50 or something like that, or even less. But
a 90-10.
I don't know. But anyways,
That probably, no, actually, that
would.
probably
like
would.
I said, I don't want to be, I don't want to be,
No, I mean, this- no,
ostracized
I
by
think
the
this is-
whiskey community.
no, I think
and you might
this
be like,
is-
oh my God, I spent $100 on this. I'm not putting it in Coke.
No, it was. I'll tell you, it was $50.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, I think that's kind of.
But all of your time made it probably cost about $100, $150, $200.
Yeah, my time is valuable. I'm telling you, folks. But no, like I said, it was like for $50. Like I said, I'm happy because it's different than a lot of the other bourbons I have right now. So I'm happy with that, and I can see where this would be a good mixer because of some of that more front, lighter complexity. Since it doesn't, for me, that's kind of what makes something into a sipper. Sometimes is that finish.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing you want to It's the finish, so that's the thing that lasts with you. That's the thing that lingers, where you're like, "Oh yeah, that's nice." It's got, and this does not have a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you said, it's clean. It's very smooth. It's got some, for me, like I like the things that are going on in the front. But if you wanted to take this to the next level and you wanted it to just be a sipper, you'd have to add something on the back. That last, you need that other 30% or whatever,
right?
I think, or 40%. I think the front bit is, like I said, is good because it's unique. And like I said, I don't usually get. I know a lot of people will talk about, when they have different bourbons, they're like, the fruit, and I don't usually get that as much. Whereas this one, because of the brandy, really does jump out to me. I'm like, there's a fruit component in there.
You know what Metallica should do is they should auction or have a contest to have a fan create a playlist to do this with them.
That would be amazing. That's a great
So here
idea.
you go, Metallica. Here's an idea.
Here's your idea. Since you thought of it, you'll let me have the choices.
Oh yeah, no, it's yours. I don't want it.
Keith just picks 10 versions of Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Like, damn it! Oh my God! The opportunity of a lifetime.
Wait, this isn't a Metallica song.
Yeah.
They could do it though.
That's the Violent Femmes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. No, that would be a cool pick.
Blister in the Sun is not on Master of Puppets.
Distill the next batch of Blackened with Metallica.
That would be really neat. Yeah, because I've thought about I looked through a bunch of the playlists, and that was kind of what started it. When I was like, oh, that's a really neat playlist, and I'd start okay, is anyone selling this one online, this batch or whatever? So that's definitely what drew me to certain ones and different artists and things like that. I think this is interesting enough. I would like to try the other one next week. Would you be down to do that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I don't want to do it tonight. Like I said, we can. And if we think it's different enough, or we're not quite sure, we can always grab another quick sip of this one next week.
Oh sure. Well, as long as there's some left.
It might not be. No.
88 is all gone.
Yeah, 88 is finished. But yeah, I think that would be, like I said, I think that would be neat to see if it actually does affect it. And like I said, I won't play I know some of you, maybe not the biggest Metallica fans. I won't play as much.
It's all right. There's a mute button on their computer.
That's true. And I will play as much because I love it. But yeah, no, I'm glad we finally did this. I appreciate what they have done, and I think it's
a lot of good.
I think it's a very creative, neat thing.
Yeah.
And I do really like that it is a very, like I said. Do I wish there was more complexity in the end? Yes. But I'm also happy that's well, I don't have anything that usually is this, like I said, nice and smooth at the end. So that's kind of cool too.
Well, and we know that it has bourbon in it, but it's not a straight bourbon. We know it's a blended whiskey. So those not
and
always.
The rye
but
is definitely adding a lot of the spice to it. I'm sure, like I said, they said it was a high concentration of rye in the mash or whatever, like I said, which is what he's known for, like I said, with being from the Whistle Pig, the creator of the Whistle Pig, which is. That's probably one of my favorite. That was one of the ones we debated on when we were gonna spend high cash money for a bottle. We almost bought the 15-year Whistle Pig.
That's right. Which one have we had then?
We have had the 10.
Okay,
so
that's true.
That is true. So now that this is behind us. Until next week when we do batch 89.
That's right. We'll try it.
If you would like to go in the archives and look for the things that are way behind us, previous podcasts, all those kind of things, different shows, you can always go to the website at AboutBeverages.com. Or if you want to make it easy on yourself, you can just subscribe to our YouTube page. and have all that content just delivered to you right away through the app or an email that may say like, hey, these guys put out something new, and you're like, I like those guys.
Or actually, if you go to
I
our
wanna hear
website,
that.
you can do that too, right?
You could once you click on it.
Dude, there's an email.
Oh yeah,
alert.
there's the email sign.
I still get those.
I kind of forget about that.
I still get
I
those.
do get it. Yeah, I do get them. But yeah, so if you want it that way, if you just want audio, we're on iTunes. Or if you are a social media kind of person, you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all these different things, just search for About Beverages. That's where we are everywhere. It is About Beverages.
Right there.
Right there. That's right. And if you do want the live thing, if you missed out on our live show and we're not part of that, we miss you. We wish you'd be here in chat to talk with us. You can always find us most Thursdays at 6:30 Pacific Daylight Time. That's my new thing. I found out exactly what that meant, and this is Pacific Daylight Time right now.
Yep.
You can find us on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages. But, as we always say, wait! Whether we like it or not,
You should give it a shot.